Alright, I just did something very spectacular here. So, just got done grinding the plates. This is the other side, but never in my life have I done it in one shot. Oh, look at that. Love it. Again, don't look at my welds, please. But yeah, fit nice. I gotta pull it back down, give it a final grind on this edge, and yeah, that's about it. Then it'll be ready to weld fully. I gotta grind up here, get the arm up here for penetration and stuff, down here, and this side will be ready to go, ready to start welding. That is a pretty big plate. I don't think I'll have any problems with anything with the frame, so now let's move on to the other side. Wow, this side too. Right in, easy peasy. It's got a little warp in the plate. That's alright, I can fix that. I believe it's twisted up and down like that, because I can't seem to get it to... Oh yeah, I can. It's just weird. I'll have to set it up, tack it, get it all good. But that one fell right in too. Oh, now it just fell right on my arm. Okay, that's enough show and tell. Oh yeah, okay. Fully welded, both sides. I'm hot, I'm sticky, I'm covered in everything. I'm done. This has got to cool, and then tomorrow or the next day or whenever, look at all the welding burns. Laying on that mat under there, the weld pops are going on the arm, I'm stabilizing myself with. So, whew, tomorrow or whenever I can get that rear end in, but I think I'm gonna spray that frame with some undercoat right now while it's still hot. It's stupid hot out here. I am covered in dirt and whatnot. Now I'm gonna whore bath myself in these crock cloths. Yeah, let's give that a shot. However it looks the right. I can't. Yeah. But I'm gonna whore bath in these things. I'm gonna let you have the privilege to watch. Do you want to watch? Do you want to see me get butt naked in there and whore bath myself in a snot rag? Well, I'm not gonna show you. I'm gonna save you all the horror. Okay, now that the C notch is done, doo-doo, I think my best plan of attack is not to drop the rear leaf, but to drop the front to get my axle in. Now I do already see a problem with that, and that is the fact that my jack stands are further forward than the spring is. So the fun's gonna commence. Well, I guess I'll just have to drop the fronts and set the axle over and drag it all the way through, which I didn't want to do. Yay. I don't plan on hooking up the shocks or anything yet. I plan literally to just get the axle on, U-bolts bolted on, and then set it on the ground, because I may have to go down the one extra notch it's got. So it's going to raise the truck up. I don't know how low it's going to go. Pork chop. But I am definitely going to be doing the testing. So I'm not going to waste my time dragging the axle in yet. Well, I guess I can. I can get it in here. And then...
No, and then! No and then. No and then. No and then. No and then. No and then.
Unbolt these leaves, get it through there. So I just got defeated. What I usually do is when I'm setting up for YouTube and stuff is I'll get all my tools out, find out what I need, do one side, then do the other. Well, this side in the front is not coming off. And I looked through to the other side and my jack stand's blocking it. So yeah, this sucks. So I guess I'm going to be dropping the back, push the drop shackle back and letting it hang, then just sliding the rear end through, which means all the paint Dusty put on here is probably going to get jacked up. No big deal, it needs touched up anyway, but it's going to suck to have to lift one end over the leaf, push it through, lift the carrier over. Well, they're called a carrier on Dodges, but it's a rear end, or the pig, whatever, the center section, over, push the other side. So yeah, it's just gonna be a sucky, hot, very humid, because it's about to rain again day, which I am totally for it raining today. I wish it'd knock it down a couple 100 degrees. But this thing is getting under there today, and hopefully back on the ground. So I wanted to do a little narration at this point in the video. For one, this is actually going at 18 times the normal speed, and I wanted to play through so you can see how much of a struggle it is to move a stupid rear end on gravel. I do have boards and everything, and it still just sucks. The front would not come off, so I did drop the back, and actually you'll see coming up, them leaf springs fall right off them perches in the back, and I literally just had to do what most people do, drop the leaves in the back and push the rear end on. It was a total fight. It totally sucked. Now let's get back to it. This thing is whooping my A right now, man. I got it sitting on the one side, but the jack's got to hold it up because the leaf spring's about to pop out of the perch. So I'm going to have to put a jack stand underneath the leaf spring to make sure the leaf don't pop out of the perch when I get it on there and let all the weight down. You know, when you got to pick this thing straight up, and you know, you can straighten out your legs and your back and everything like that, it's easy. When you got to try to pick this up in any sort of down position, it don't go. It just will not go. So I still have to get it in there, then over the drop block, then over the spring hanger, then over the rear end before it drops down. Then at that point, I gotta push it all the way over to the other side, then get it past this leaf hanger. It'll probably be on top of that leaf hanger actually, and then pick it up, push it over onto the perch. Yeah, this sucks. Whew. You see them guys on TV do it in, 30 minutes. They also have a car lift, a rear end jack, a concrete floor, and everything else they need to make it easy and quick. When you're doing stuff at home in your real garage, it ain't that easy. I'm this close, and I'm fully out of energy. This leaf spring fell off. Hopefully I can get it back in, but I am like shaking style out of energy. Oh, this is a fight. Bend over every time I get up, lightheaded from this. Just gonna have to push another 10%. Let me talk to you guys about ancient automotive technology. They're called carburetors, and they suck. Don't use them. The aliens want us to use fuel injection. Get it, like it, love it. Okay, took a little break. As you can see, both whoop, whoop, of the leaf springs popped out of the shackle spot where I had them on the jack stands. The jack stands fell. So, now I have to do something dangerous. It's called ratchet strapping the leaf springs together and hoping they go back in the slot, because the front wouldn't come off. So, I'm going to do something dangerous now and hopefully get these back in before I call it a night, which is soon because I'm toast. Alright, leaf springs are basically back where I need them. Looks like it's all got to get shifted that way. But other than that, now I can jack up the rear end to get it close to where I need it. Almost done. Almost done. Boys and girls, I'm gonna call that done. Not done, but in. And I'm gonna give it up for tonight. I am so friggin' wore out. I got the bolts ran through and nutted. I gotta tighten up the rear, tighten up that shackle, put the wheels on, put the shock adapters. Let me see where it's at. Where they're at. They're back here. Yeah, the shock adapters back here. These things gotta go on. Put the shocks on. Put the wheels on. Hook the brakes up. And it's done completely. But for now, one thing I haven't checked yet. Look at that placement of that pie. Oh, sometimes I'm go so good. It's perfect. They're up in there. And they ain't got full weight on it yet or anything, but I quit for tonight. So, the final modification you will have to do is to your U-bolt mounts for your leaf springs. Considering your center bolt is no longer in the center, it is here. So you will have to either drill it or cut it out to fit your pin or nut, whatever you got going through your spring pack. So, I'm gonna plasma mine out. Alright, so now's the time. I'm gonna set my little B-roll cam up, and we're gonna see if it's low or if it's too low. Might have to raise that rear, but I'm gonna jack it up, which is all the pressure is gonna be on the rear end. Move the jack stands out and see how low it goes. Now my shocks are not hooked up, they're just straight down. So let's see. Well, now that it's got the C notch and the, I'm going to say it's probably close to a 7-inch drop, 5-inch axle flip, and whatever the shackles are. I don't know, I didn't buy them. They were on the truck when I got it. So, I need to jack it back up, put the shocks on, hook up the brake line, and then, as you can clearly see by my gap here, the tail end of the bed is down, which means I believe where they cut out for the shackles, let's see if I can, you see the holes for the shackles, where they cut out for the shackles is also part of the body mounts. So I'm gonna have to get up under there when I do all the other stuff and try to figure out why on earth the bed is leaning back, and it has to be fixed. Simple enough. Shim it, bring the butt up. It probably ain't gonna have to go up much in the rear to close that gap and try to make it uniform. And once that's done, I'm also going to have to check the rear end out, because it's really, really hard to turn them tires. And a 373 with a mini spool still should turn pretty easy, I believe. I'm not sure. I have never had a mini spool. And to be honest with you, from just putting it on trying to turn the tires, I really don't want it. I'd prefer to have a 355 rear gear with a posi. So that's what I'm on the lookout for. If any of you fellas out there have one you want to donate to the project, please do. Hit me up on here, or my email is in there somewhere. But right now, just can't afford it. So let's jack her up. I do see one thing I also don't like too, and it looks like that rear tire's set back quite a bit now. Maybe it's just, it's just the way I'm sitting. It's still in the center. I mean, how can it get that far off? Somebody's gonna have to have done the geometry and everything. So another thing I'm gonna do real quick though, is I'm gonna pull in this driver's side fender, unbolt the inner fender, and just pop her on there, because I want to see how low it actually is with front fender and rear fender, front and rear done, because that'll be like the moment. So let me get that. Got the fender just sitting there. Now there is an optical illusion right now, and what it is between the wheel opening and this body line, that is 7 1/4. Between that wheel opening and that body line, it is actually 6 inches. So there's 1 1/4 inches more in the rear than there is in the front. So 1 1/4 inches down the tire. So it's going to be about halfway in the tire. Now, there's also still not full weight from core support, inner fenders, other fenders, radiator, liquids, air intake tube, spark plug wires, yada yada yada. But I don't think it's going to go down as far as that. Now, that being said, it's not supposed to, because that gap is smaller than that gap. I would have to literally seriously rake the truck to get it to be equal on the tires. So yes, optical illusions.